Mr. President, and fellow senators, I come to the floor today to talk about the business at hand. Obviously, it's a vote that we're going to take at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Look, we were subjected to days and days of trial here, many witnesses and witness statements and all that sort of thing. And it's incumbent upon us now as jurors to reach a conclusion, and I have done so. I come at this with a little bit of a different view than probably others. I've tried more cases probably than anyone on the floor, both as a prosecutor and in private practice. And so I watched carefully as the case was presented to us and how the case had been put together by the managers from the House. And what I learned in the many years of trial experience that I had, that the only way really to try a case and to reach where you want to get is to do it in good faith and to do it honestly. I had real trouble right at the beginning when I saw that the lead manager read a transcript purporting to be the president, a transcript of the president's phone call that's been an issue here, and it was falsified. And it was falsified knowingly, willfully, and intentionally. So as a result of that, when they walked through the door and wanted to present their case, there was a strike there already, and I put it in that perspective. How the case unfolded after that was stunning because I've never seen a case succeed the way they put the case together. They put the case together by taking every fact that they wanted to make fly and put it only in the best light without showing the other side, but more importantly, intentionally excluding evidence. And of course, this whole thing centered around witness statements that the president had somehow threatened or pressured the president of Ukraine to do what he was going to do. That simply wasn't the case. The transcript didn't say that. Now, admittedly, they had a witness that had gone around saying that, and they called every person he told to tell us that that was the situation. The problem was it was hearsay, and there's a good reason why they don't allow hearsay in a court of law. And that is, it simply wasn't true. When the person who was spreading that rumor actually talked to the president about it, the president got angry and said, "That's not true, I would never do that." They never told us that. And once the tape was shown, the House manager spent days putting together that proposition for us, and the president's counsel dismantled that in about an hour and did so really quickly. And as a result of that, simply from a factual basis, it is my opinion that the prosecution in this case did not meet its burden. Now, much has been said about witnesses and how they did this and what have you. Look, the Constitution is crystal clear. It gives the House absolute, total, 100% control of impeachment, that is the investigation and the vote on it. It gives us the same thing, but on the trial basis. The thing I think was surprising to me is they came over here and tried to tell us how to do their job. I suspect they in the House would feel the exact same way about it if we went over there and told them how they should impeach. They came over here and told us about how we should do witnesses and all that sort of thing. They had every opportunity to prepare the case. It was totally in their hands. They had as much time as they wanted to, and they simply didn't do it. So in that respect, I also found that it was short. But the bottom line for me, too, was there's a second reason on which I would vote to acquit here, and that is the stunning attack that this was on the United States Constitution. This is really the first time in history when a purely political attack was instigated by reaching to the United States Constitution and using what is really a sacred item in that Constitution, a process that the Founding Fathers gave us for good reason, and that is impeachment. It was not intended to be used as a political bludgeon. It simply wasn't. We had in front of us the Federalist Papers, and we had the debates of the Constitutional Convention, and really the one silver lining that came out of this was it underscored again for us the genius of the Founding Fathers giving us 3 branches of government. Not just 3 branches of government, but 3 branches of government that had distinct lanes in which they operated, and most importantly, indicating that they were separate but equal. And they wanted not a parliamentary system like they had looked at from Britain, with a head of state that was a that was a prime minister that could be removed and changed, as happens all around the world today. They gave us a unique system with 3 branches of government. So the Founding Fathers were very clear. They debated the question of what should it take to get rid of the head of state, and they concluded that the second branch of government couldn't be a strong branch of government if indeed the president could be removed, as a prime minister could be removed simply by Congress getting unhappy with his policies or disagreeing with him. And so as a result of that, they did give us impeachment, and it is a unique process. They were very clear that it was supposed to be used only in very extreme circumstances and not just simply because of a political disagreement or a policy disagreement. And that's exactly what happened here. The Federalist Papers and the Constitutional Convention debates are very, very clear that it is not a broad swath of reasons to impeach the president that is given to the first branch of government, but indeed a very, very narrow swath. And it was interesting that from the beginning they picked the 2 words of treason and bribery. And to that, they then had a long debate about what it would be in addition to that. And they had such words as malfeasance, misfeasance, corruption, and all those kinds of things that could be very broad. They rejected all those and said, no, specifically, it had to be high crimes and misdemeanors. So what they did is they narrowed the lane considerably, made it difficult to remove the head of the second branch of government. And then on top of that, for frosting on the cake, they said it's going to be 2/3. Now, what did that simply mean? They knew that human beings being the way they are, that human beings that were involved in political process and political parties would reach to get rid of a political enemy using everything they could. And so they wanted to see that that didn't happen with impeachment. And so as a result of that, they gave us the 2/3 requirement, and that meant that no president was going to be impeached without a bipartisan movement. This movement has been entirely partisan. No Republican voted for that to impeach him in the House of Representatives. This afternoon at 4 o'clock, we're going to have a vote, and it's going to be along party lines. And again, it is going to be political. So what do we have here? At the end of the day, we have a political exercise. And that political exercise is going to fail. And once again, God has blessed America, and the republic that Benjamin Franklin said we have, if we can keep it, is going to be sustained. Madam President, I yield the floor.